Details inside the new Biden tell-all book on what a disaster and how he's in complete mental decline, and the press completely covered it up. They're leaking today. Welcome to Doug in Exile. We're going to go over this together. Look at my face. I got the stitches removed. These bruising and puffiness, it'll all go away. I have to keep Vaseline on it, so it's going to be a little shiny. You know, you're supposed to powder your nose. My doctor's making me Vaseline my nose to make sure there's lots of glowing highlights. Bing! Just a little skin cancer removal. Get your skin checked if you've had a lot of time out in the sun like me. Let's get to the article. Hope you guys will subscribe. I'm looking to get to 1 million subscribers. I can't do it without you. It's pretty simple. If you want to watch this show, 4 videos a day, put out my top content on just the news you need to know. Exclusive Biden aides discussed wheelchair use. If he were reelected, a new book says, oh, he's sharp. Sharp as a tack and ready to go.
I can't even keep up with it.
The most difficult part about a meeting with President Biden is preparing for it, because he is sharp.
Other than he's going to need a wheelchair to get around. So this is from the upcoming book by Jake Tapper, where Jake Tapper does not give away that he was part of the cover-up. You know, the big mea culpa is obviously on Jake Tapper. Joe's physical deterioration was so severe in 2023 and 2024. That's the last 2 years that advisors privately discussed the possibility that he'd need to use a wheelchair if he won re-election. CNN's Jake Tapper and Axios' Alex Thompson write in their new book, Original Sin, May 20th, Why It Matters. The discussion reflected the extent of the president's declining health, which I don't think is a mystery to any of us, guys. They're acting like we're going to tell you what really happened. All of us saw what really happened. The biggest news really is the Biden administration, all the Democrats, and the mass media lying to you. They'll admit to 2 years, but guys, it was all 4 years. Particularly the significant degeneration of his spine and his aides' alarm over it as Biden sought a second term at age 81. The conversations also reveal the White House's determination to conceal the reality of Biden's condition. There you go. At the risk of his own health. So this was bad for Biden, guys. They didn't even love the guy. They didn't even respect the guy enough to care for him. He was put at great risk. They wouldn't later it's going to go into how they wouldn't put him in a wheelchair, making him walk when they felt like he was too feeble. If he took a fall, it would be a huge hit to his health. But they didn't want to pose him around with a wheelchair, thinking would not like him as much, or you would realize that he was more frail than he was. So they put him in danger and walked him around like a Muppet. This actually, guys, I'm going to go farther. This shows how much Democrats hate America. They hate it so much that they were ready to abuse it for another 4 years with Joe Biden. That's right. They love perception and fashion and lies more than they love the truth and America and your informed consent when you vote. The book is based on interviews with more than 200 people, mostly Democrat insiders. So this also goes to the View show that I did the other day with the Whoopi Goldberg. Bunch of you saw it, so huge views. Thank you for that. But on that, Jill Biden said, the people who are writing those books, they weren't in the White House. No, these are inside Democrats. Jill Biden is still in lie mode. Sorry, Jill, time to give up the game here. They had knowledge of events that unfold during the final 2 years of Biden's presidency. Almost all of the interviews took place after the 2024 election, so it was safe. See, Democrats can only tell you the truth after they've been caught. It's like the criminal. Hey, so glad you caught me. Now I can finally tell you the truth. And the ones that are still trying to carry the lie are at MSNBC, Jen Psaki. You know, they're still doing the sharp, Biden sharp.
I can testify because I've been working very closely with this president for the past 2 years. I've been knowing him for 30 years. And I'm telling you, this guy's tough. He's smart. He's on his game.
Joe Biden has vision. He has knowledge. He has a strategic thinker.
The president is focused. He's detail oriented. He's always thinking about the big picture.
He is engaging. He is capable. He has an incredible record as president.
And I'm often with him on foreign trips. He's at the top of his game.
So he has a vision, he has knowledge, he has judgment, he has a strategic thinking.
I met with the president, 5 or 6 weeks ago, and he seemed fine to me.
I have complete confidence in the president. I have watched him expertly guide meetings of staff and cabinet members. I could not have more confidence in the president.
I would just tell you that I meet frequently with the president, and every single time I meet with him, he is just fine.
Biden aides believed it was politically untenable to have Biden use a wheelchair during his reelection campaign. Given Biden's age, his physician, Kevin O'Connor, also privately said that if he had another bad fall, a wheelchair might be necessary for what would be a difficult recovery. Biden's team had increasing fears of a fall after he tripped over a sandbag at Air Force Academy in June of 2023. Aides began taking many more precautions to avoid a repeat before the November election. They tried to figure out shorter walking paths, began insisting on handrails for steps up to the stage at his appearances, had him wear sneakers more often, changed his visual briefings before events to ensure he knew every step he was expected to take. And guys, we saw him pause and do the Biden robot confusion walk.
Where am I going? Where the hell am I going? I want to get out. Oh, no, over there, over.
O'Connor had long privately expressed concern about the toll the presidency was taking on his health. The doctor often argued with Biden's political officials to get more rest time into the president's schedule. That's after he was only working 4 hours a day and taking a nap, putting a lid on the press. They needed even more rest time to get him out on that beach and sleep some more. O'Connor's sometimes quipped that Biden staff members were trying to kill him. It's attempted murder by the Democrat Party of their own candidate, while he, the doctor, was trying to keep him alive by providing more rest and perhaps giving him a wheelchair, being more careful with his walk. So the doctor was obeying his oath and the Democrat Party's oath of ends justify any means. They went by their oath too. Kill him. Through the 2024, Biden aides told reporters that the president's halting walk was partly the result of him fracturing his foot in November of 2020 and then refusing to consistently wear his walking boot. In short, they said Biden was being undone by his own vigor, so even Biden wouldn't wear the walking boot out of shame. Look at my face. We're going to get it. Look at my face. 30 stitches were taken out yesterday. I tell you the truth. I'm more honest than Biden. Biden wouldn't even wear a boot in public for fear of what you'd think of his recovering broken ankle. I go on the camera with this before 500,000 people. Look at my face, puffy and bruised, because I'm not a Democrat. I'm not sitting here trying to pretend like I'm more healthy or my face looks better than it is.
How do you think it makes little kids with stutters feel when they see you make a comment like that?
It's very clearly a cognitive decline.
Okay.
That's what I'm referring to. It makes me uncomfortable.
You have no I can't. That's so amazing. It's so amazing to me that
try and figure out an answer.
A cognitive decline. President Biden embraces his stutter, talking about it, while Trump mocks it, exaggerates it, belittles it. He's sharp physically. I mean, mentally. Yeah. I think the question is physically, right?
Right.
More so?
Right.
Right. And the guy who's his chief opponent is only 3 or 4 years younger than him.
Exactly.
I mean, you have questioned President Biden's age, mental fitness, ability to lead. Of those supporting Biden, you said, quote, shame on all of you pretending everything is okay. You're leading us and him into a disaster. Do you worry that you damaged him at all? I've heard a lot of really nasty stuff about you from your Democratic colleagues. Sure. I mean, just like, what is he thinking? Exercise in narcissism. I mean, false claims to the Wall Street Journal about President Biden's mental fitness and acuity. He's 81, and his memory, it doesn't seem great. It's not horrible, but I don't understand the outrage. Quote, behind closed doors, Biden shows signs of slipping, unquote. The Wall Street Journal is owned by News Corp, which is run by the Murdochs. Beyond the headline, there is some critical nuance here. The article is mostly based on observations of Republicans, with former Speaker Kevin McCarthy the only one going on the record. They do note in the article that most of the criticism comes from Republicans. Have you heard any concerns from anyone who has met with President Biden about Him seeming a little slower?
No.
After Biden, that's a funny contrast to me. After Biden wore a walking boot for 10 weeks in late 2020, early 21, O'Connor noted that both small fractures of his foot are completely healed and that this injury has healed as expected. O'Connor repeated in his public health summaries that Biden has mild post-fracture foot arthritis, but focused largely on significant spinal arthritis to explain the changes in the president's gait. Biden, his family, and senior White House officials pushed forward with the president's reelection campaign despite seeing signs of physical and mental decline over the course of his administration, the authors write. This is very sad for Biden. He was probably in a lot of pain. But Biden's disastrous debate performance against Trump last June stunned Democratic leaders who began pushing for the president to drop his reelection bid, except for Joe Scarborough. He goes, hey, you have a bad debate day, but on content, substance, you did really well. There were still some people saying that with a straight face. He did so 3 weeks later and quickly endorsed Vice President Harris. They're going to get into this too, that this was a complete screw job by Joe Biden against the Democrats, paving the way for her to be the party's new nominee for president. When asked about the book's reporting, a Biden spokesperson who declined to be identified, hide. Now they don't want to give you the bio to stand by the truth.
Incredibly sharp, incredibly probing, incredible command of the details.
He is sharp. He is on top of things.
There is nothing to these challenges, these suggestions that somehow he's not sharp and he's not capable.
We see Joe Biden up close. We know how attuned he is to the issue.
And you're going to see how smart he is and the experience he has.
I say his age is an asset.
Aha!
He's wise.
Yes, he's wise. He has wisdom. He has experience.
And his experience, because of his age and his wisdom, has been invaluable to this country.
A lot of countries, people who've been in office a longer period of time are praised for their wisdom.
I have seen a lot of 72-year-olds not as capable as this 80-year-old.
It is hard for us to keep up with this president.
His mental acuity is great. It's fine. It's as good as it's been over the years. He's fine. All this right-wing propaganda that his mental acuity has declined is wrong.
And this kind of sense that he's not ready for this job is just a bucket of BS that's so deep, your boots will get stuck in.
He said in a statement to Axios that Biden's medical exam made clear that he had a stiffened gait caused in part by wear and tear to his spine. I'll let the chat tell me, can you get around much without a spine? You don't need a spine, do you? It's like an appendix. But that no special treatment was necessary and that it had not worsened. He was transparent about this, and it was far from severe. The statement added, yes, there were physical changes as he got older. Within just a couple of years, he aged like 50 years. But evidence of aging is not evidence of mental incapacity. That's true. But you know what is the evidence of mental incapacity? Mental incapacity. It's not because he was old that I have a problem with him. I have a problem with him because he was clearly mentally incapacitated. You could see by how he spoke. You could see that he was out of gas. You could see that he couldn't keep a thought. He couldn't run meetings. Axios is still in on this is a soft landing cover-up by Jake Tapper. Continue. They're just going to nuance it and put details in and use a lot of words of frabba-jabba to try and make it look like it was normal to do what they did instead of immoral and lying to the voters. This is actually on Twitter. It's a good thing Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson kept it to themselves until it didn't matter anymore. That's regarding their expose book. Here's Steve Guest. The knives are out for Joe Biden. Trying to defeat Donald Trump in just 107 days was a effing nightmare, admits the Harris campaign advisor, David Plouffe. He's the biggest liar there is. The head of her campaign, David Plouffe, who appears to have gone on record in Thompson and Tapper's book to make his anger crystal clear. And it's all Biden. It is all Biden. He's angry. He adds, he totally effed us, he says. The book that half of Washington's been waiting for has leaked. The Original Sin, it's called, isn't out until May 20th. The Guardian obtained a sneaky advance copy yesterday evening and ran some key passages on its website. Jake Tapper's going to make millions of dollars on this book, by the way. And here's the killer quote, which confirms Democrats' worst suspicion about Joe Biden's top team. We attempted to shield him from his own staff. That's the quote. We attempted to shield Biden from his own staff. That's abuse. An anonymous senior ex-Biden aide admits so many people didn't realize the extent of the decline beginning in 2023. It's an extraordinary mea culpa, given how things have played out. And then now, here's tried to defeat Donald Trump 107 days. Effing nightmare, admits Harris campaign David Plouffe. It's all on Biden. So there's some anger between he and Biden. Now, here's David Plouffe. This is back in January 4th of 2021, after Biden just won the election. Another one where David Plouffe is completely wrong. Campaign manager for Barack Obama, Kamala Harris. 7 days from now, Joe Biden will have woken up in the White House. So see, because he ran Barack Obama's campaign and Kamala's, it shows probably some of that anger against Biden came from Barack Obama too. I believe there's a split between the Obamas and the Bidens. Joe Biden will have woken up in the White House. He will stride across the colonnade, probably in a wheelchair, and enter the Oval Office and work, problem solve, care, repair. He'll think about us, not himself. What a change it will be. It's almost here. What a big, fat, lying loser. All you Democrats, the entire media got its pants pulled down. It's like when the tide goes out, you find out who has no trunks on. The Democrats are naked. Now we're starting to heal. Now we're starting to repair from what David Plouffe called the repair. Books are going to come out, guys. This is all going to be exposed. That's the best news. The book is coming out. The truth, some truth is going to come out. These quotes. You know what else is cool? The American voter saw it before the media admitted to it. We, in our hearts and our minds, and using our own two eyes, our own intuition, we're not fooled by a giant lie campaign by every Democrat, every influencer, every famous person, big tech out in San Francisco, Gavin Newsom, the spokespeople on MSNBC, CNN, all of the journalism pundits, every Democrat journalist lied. And the voter, America was saved by the voter. It was going to be destroyed by Democrats and media and leftists, and the wisdom of the American voter saved our country. That's what God used to save our country for a few more years. I'm going to read this book. We're going to read it together. Do you want to hear more on this? Let me know in the comments below. Say, give us more when it comes out, Doug. I'm Doug in Exile. Please subscribe.